Yes, done with your present marking. So, till now in our history, what we have completed, let's see which lessons we have completed. Sources of history, Europe and India, effects of British rule, freedom struggle of 1857, and yes, these lessons we have done. So, let's go for lesson number one. Okay, tell me about museums and history. Tell me something about museums and history, how they are related, how they are co-related. Museums and history. Yes, Nidhi?
Yes, ma'am. Audible?
Yes.
A place where ancient artifacts, painting, photographs, tools, coin, documents, clothes, etc. are exhibited is known as museum. Ancient artifacts give us information about the economic, social, political, and religious condition of the respective periods. The metal and the inscription on the coin tell us about the economic condition of that period and the metal use. We come to know progress in the art of making tools, painting, sculpture and
Sculptures.
metallurgy. His, history and museum are related. They are important source of writing history.
Yes. The next question is explain with a reason during the British period, newspapers also acted as source of social reformation. Yes, Mansi?
Yes, miss. In the pre-independence period, newspapers like Dhyan Prakash, Amrit Bazar, Pratika, Dinbandhu Kesari acted as important source of awakening the minds of the people through the newspapers. The we can study the British policies regarding India and their effects on India. During the British period, newspapers were not only the source of political events but also acted as a source of a social reformation.
Yes. Good. The dash dash museum is you sorry the dash dash is a museum in Pune which gives information about the history of Mahatma Gandhi. You can write it in a chat box. Yes, Aga Khan Palace. Good. What about others? Only Mansi and Nidhi are supposed to give the answers. What about Karthik, Hariom? Your next question is from your next lesson. Okay. Explain the following statement with reason. European rulers started giving military protection and trade concession to the trading companies. Why is it so? Yes, Nancy.
Question was that second one, na, the European countries felt the necessity.
No. Third one, European rulers started giving military protection and trade concession to the trading companies. Why they started
Okay.
giving protection to the trading companies?
With the discovery of new sea routes to the east, trade with Oriental countries become very profitable. Thus, the European trade prospered. Competition for trade began among many European nations. The trades pooled their resources and formed trading companies like the East India Company. As this trade brought economic prosperity, the European rulers started giving military protection and the trade concession to these trading companies.
Yes. Next. Sirajuddaulah was defeated in the Battle of Plassey. Why is it so? Yes, Nidhi.
Yes, ma'am. The officer of the British East India Company misused the trade concession and built fortification around the factory in Kolkata. Siraj ud Dowlah captured the factory at Kolkata. This created disconnected in England. Robert Clive diplomatically briefed Mir Jafar, commander-in-chief of Nawab army, and promised to make him Nawab of Bengal. So the army of Siraj ud Dowlah under the command of Mir Qasim did not join the battle against the British at Plassey in 1757 AD. Thus the British won the battle of Plassey by treachery and
Plassey.
Plassey by treachery and deceit.
Next, you have to explain the concepts. Imperialism. What is imperialism? Yes, Nidhi.
Yes, ma'am. Imperialism means a powerful country controls over a country, other country by establishing its overall domination. The objective of imperialism is to establish more and more colonies. European countries with strong military power and imperialist aspiration enswelled the country in Asia and Africa. Imperialism gained momentum after Industrial Revolution and came to an end in 20th century.
Yes, Karthik and Hariom. Don't you have your textbooks with you? Tell me, do you have your textbooks or not? Karthik? Yes, Karthik, do you have your textbook? Karthik, put on your mic. कार्तिक माइक ऑन करायचा आहे. Next is capitalism. Who will explain about capitalism? Yes, Mansi.
Yes. Many traders came together and started trade. Thus, there was rise of many trading companies. Trade with Oriental countries was very profitable and responsible for economic prosperity. Hence, European rulers started giving military protection and trade concession to these trading companies. This led to accumulation of wealth in Europe. This property was used in the form of capital for trade and commerce, which led to rise of capitalist economic system in Europe.
Age of Renaissance. Age of Renaissance. Yes, Nidhi.
Yes, ma'am. Renaissance literally means rebirth of reveal. In the later phases of medieval Europe, Reformation, religious reform movement, and geographical discoveries gained moment. It was a comprehensive movement which touched all aspects of human life. The Greek and Roman tradition in art, architecture, and philosophy were revived in the Age of Renaissance. Humanitarianism got great impacts. Renaissance inspired all-round progress and ushered a new era in the history of the world. This development took place from 13th century to 16th century in Europe. This period is known as Age of Renaissance.
The Industrial Revolution began in dash dash. In which country did the Industrial Revolution begin? Write it in a chat box. England. Yes. Next, lesson number 3, effects of British rule. Sorry. Explain the following statement with reason. Farmers in India became bankrupt. Farmers in India became bankrupt. Yes, Nancy?
For payment of taxes, Indian farmers started selling their crops at whatever price they received. The merchants and the brokers started purchasing their goods at minimum rate. At certain times, the farmers had to mortgage his land to the money lender for arrangement of money to pay the tax. Farmer become bankrupt.
There was decline of traditional industries in India. What was the reason behind that? There was decline of traditional industries in India. Yes, Nidhi?
Yes, ma'am. The British government levied heavy duty on a goods exported from India to England. The goods imported from England were produced in factory or a large scale and minimum cost. The duty levied on them by British was far too less. So these goods were cheap as compared to traditional goods. The Indian artisans found it difficult to compete with low price
Compete.
compete with low price British goods. Even this led to closing down of traditional industries in India.
Yes. Explain the concept civil services. Civil services. Yes, Anidhi.
Yes, ma'am. There was a need of bureaucrats to strengthen the British rule in India. Lord Cornwallis introduced civil services, which became an important part of the British government. The territories occupied by British were divided into districts for administrative convenience. The district administration was headed by collector. The officer appointed through the civil service ISC were taken into administrative service.
Commercialization of agriculture. Commercialization of agriculture. Yes, Hariom.
Yes, ma'am. In the pre-British period, farmers used to cultivate food grain to fulfill domestic need as well as need of the village. The British government gave encouragement to the cultivation of cash crop like indigo, cotton, tobacco, tea, etc. The shift from cultivation of food grain to profit yielding cash crop is known as commercialization of agriculture.
Commercialization of agriculture. Okay. Yes, Karthik, any problem? See, he left again. Karthik, put on your mic. यू आर नॉट आन्सरिंग अ सिंगल क्वेश्चन आणि मी माईक ऑन करायला सांगितल्यावर पण तू माईक ऑन करत नाहीयेस आणि मध्येच कोणीतरी आन्सर सांगतय तेव्हा तुझा माईक चालू आहे सगळा बॅकग्राऊंडचा आवाज येतोय व्हॉट नेटवर्क इश्यू इन दॅट नेटवर्क इश्यू मध्ये माईक ऑन होत नाही आपण केल्याशिवाय. This should not happen again. If you want to answer, if you want to ask me anything, then only you have to take first permission or raise your hand, then only I will give you to I will permit you to put on your mic. Okay, this should not happen again. जेव्हा सांगितल्यावर माईक जेव्हा सांगितलं जाईल तेव्हाच माईक ऑन करायचा आहे. आन्सर येत नाहीये, इट्स फाईन, बट इट शुड नॉट हॅपन अगेन. Next is economic policy of British. Economic policy of British. What was the economic policy of British? Yes, Manasi.
England was a modern nation due to industrialization revolution, capitalist economic prevailed. Hence, they inculcated on economic system in England. Due to this, Britishers gained economic benefit, but India started facing economic exploitation.
Yes. Next is fourth, the freedom struggle of 1857. What were the social causes behind the struggle of 1857? Social causes, I am asking. What were the social causes? Yes, Nidhi.
Yes, ma'am. The Indian felt that Britishers interfered in their culture, tradition, and customs. The British enacted Sati Prohibition Act and the Widow Remarriage Act. These were seen as an interference in lifestyle of Indians. Indians resented it as it was regarded as the de- destruction of the way of life by the British government.
What were the changes in British policy after the struggle of 1857? How British changed their policy after the struggle of 1857? Yes, Hariom.
Yes, ma'am. The British accept the policy of non-interference in social and religious aspects of Indians. They took care that Indian society did not unite on social ground. They took care to see that conflicts on ground of caste, religion, race, territories kept dragging. They poisoned and polluted the mind of India by following the policy of divide and rules.
Yes, good. Next is what were the consequences of struggle of 1857? Yes, Mansi.
The British government realized that there was growing dissatisfaction among the Indians due to company's rule. The British Parliament passed the Government of India Act in 1858 and took over the responsibility of ruling over people of India, thus bringing an end to company's rule. Third point, the Queen issued a declaration addressing the people of India. The Governor General was designated uh, as the Viceroy of India. A new post of Secretary of State was created to look after the affairs of India. The British changed the composition of army and its internal policies.
Ma'am,
Now I am audible.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry for your inconvenience. Actually, I have lost my Wi-Fi connection. Okay, let's start it again.
Madam, do you hear my answer?
Half of the answer I heard. Okay, so can you repeat it again, please?
Okay.
Yes.
Question: what were the consequences of struggle of 1857? Answer: the British government realized that there was growing dissatisfaction among the Indians due to company's rule. The British Parliament passed the Government of India Act in 1858 and took over the responsibility of ruling over people of India, thus bringing an end to company's rule. The Queen issued a declaration addressing the people of India. The Governor General was designated as the Viceroy of India.
Viceroy.
Um, Viceroy of India. A new post of Secretary of State was created to look after the affairs of India. The British changed the composition of army and its internal policies.
Okay, next is explain the following statement with reason. The Paikas made armed rebellion against British. Yes. Okay, Nidhi.
Yes, ma'am. The Britishers conquered Odisha in 1803. They conflict. Ma'am, I am audible.
Yes, yes.
They confiscated the hereditary rent-free land granted to Paika by kings. The life of common man became miserable due to tax imposed on salt by the British. This resulted in armed rebellion of the Paika against the British in 1817.
Next question is again the reason there was a discontent among the Hindu and Muslim sepoys. Yes, Hariom. Yes, Hariom. Can you answer this? Am I audible? Uh,
In 1856, the British introduced long infield rifle. The soldiers were required to bite the grease covering of the cartridge of the rifle to open them. The news spread among the soldiers that the covering of the cartridge contained the fat of cow and pig. The religious sentiment of Hindu and Muslim soldiers were hurt and there was discontent among them.
yes. Next, the Indian sepoys could not keep stand in front of the British army. Mansi.
The Indian sepoys could not keep stand in front of the British army because the Indian soldiers were brave, but they had no military strategies. They did not have economic strength. Indians did not have latest and enough stock of arms and experienced army journals like the British. On the other hand, the British posed the modern means of transport and communication and were therefore swift in their movements.
Yes.
Hello, teacher.
Yes.
Teacher, in my school there was exam of history of 20
Yes.
marks. So I have got out of marks in that paper.
Yes. Very nice. Which lessons were there?
Miss lesson number 1 to 4 all.
Okay. Good. Next is this one is for Nidhi. After this struggle, Indian army was divided on the basis of caste. Why is it so? Nidhi, this is for you.
There was division of military on the basis of caste because the British felt that if the Indians came together, they would again unite, unite and rebel against the British rule. Hence, proper care was taken by dividing them on the basis of caste to avoid future conflicts.
Yes. Now the last one. This is for you, Hariom. The British imposed heavy taxes on Indian industries. The British imposed heavy taxes on Indian industries. Yes.
Yes, the British introduced new revenue system with the sole purpose to increase their income. The tax were forcibly collected from the farmer. British goods were sold in India to gain profit. They imposed heavy tax on the goods made by local industry. This trade policy run Indian handicraft and textile industry. Many artisans become unemployed. The British imposed heavy tax of Indian industry with the sole purpose to ruin the Indian economic.
Okay, fine. Now we will start with our lesson number 5. Okay. What is this? Social and religious reforms. ओके म्हणजे सामाजिक आणि धार्मिक प्रबोधन. रिफॉर्म का मतलब क्या होता है? कुछ चेंजेस करवाना. ओके जो भी लोगों में क्रांति की जाती है उसको रिफॉर्म कहा जाता है, प्रबोधन कहा जाता है. ओके सो सोशल एंड रिलीजियस जो भी सोशल थिंग थे या फिर रिलीजियस थिंग्स थे, ओके ज्या काही सामाजिक गोष्टी होत्या, धार्मिक गोष्टी होत्या, ज्या बदलल्या गेल्या, त्याच्यामध्ये कशा प्रकारे बदल करण्यात आले, कैसे चेंज किए गए, वो हम इस लेसन में सीखने वाले हैं. और वो चेंजेस किसने किए वो भी हम पढ़ने वाले हैं. ओके along with spread of English education, there was spread of new thoughts, new ideas, new philosophy. Indians were also introduced to Western thoughts and culture. Due to it, there were changes in social, religious, economic and cultural aspects of Indian society. बघा काय झालं, इंग्रज आल्यानंतर इंग्रजी शिक्षणाचा प्रसार झाला. बरोबर, आपल्या भारतामध्ये इंग्रजी शिक्षणाचा प्रसार होऊ लागला आणि त्या इंग्रजी शिक्षणाच्या प्रसाराबरोबर नवीन विचार, नवीन कल्पना, नवीन तत्वज्ञान या सगळ्यांचा देखील प्रसार झाला. ओके जे वेस्टर्न विचार होते, पाश्चिमात्य विचार, संस्कृती यांची भारतीयांना ओळख झाली. यामुळे भारतीय काय झाले, समाजाच्या सामाजिक, धार्मिक, आर्थिक, सांस्कृतिक अशा प्रत्येक क्षेत्रात बदल होत गेले. ओके जब ब्रिटिश हमारे भारत में आए तब उन्होंने जो भी इंग्लिश था, इंग्लिश एजुकेशन पे ज्यादा जोर दिया. तो इंग्लिश एजुकेशन सब सारी यूनिवर्सिटीज में होने लगा. ओके भारत में इंग्लिश एजुकेशन बढ़ाया गया. तब उस इंग्लिश एजुकेशन के साथ साथ नए जो भी विचार है, नई सोच है, नई कल्पनाएं है, नया जो भी ज्ञान है वो सब फैलाया गया पूरे भारत में. ओके और कुछ वेस्टर्न थॉट्स थे, उन लोगों के जो विचार थे, उनकी जो संस्कृति थी, वो भी भारतीय लोगों ने थोड़ी थोड़ी तरह से अपनाना शुरू कर दिया. ओके एंड देन इसमें इन सारी चीजों से क्या हुआ, भारत का जो समाज था उसके सामाजिक, धार्मिक, आर्थिक, सांस्कृतिक सारे क्षेत्र में धीरे धीरे चेंजेस होने लगे. ओके नेक्स्ट, the modern educated Indians became aware that the backwardness of India was due to superstitions, casteism, old custom, class system and lack of critical outlook. Okay मग आता भारतातील काही लोग शिकत होते, सुशिक्षित समाज निर्माण होत होता. भारत में जो भी लोग सीख रहे थे, एजुकेशन ले रहे थे, उनकी वजह से सुशिक्षित जो भी सीखने वाला, सीखा हुआ समाज है वो आगे आ रहा था. और वो समाज क्या कर रहा था, उनको पता चल गया था की भारतामध्ये जे काही भारतीय समाज जो मागासलेला आहे, भारतीय समाज जो बैकवर्ड है उसके कारण क्या है, त्याचे कारण काय आहेत, अंधश्रद्धा. ओके, अंधा विश्वास हम रखते हैं. देन रूढ़िप्रियता, जो भी परंपराएं है उससे भारतीय लोग चिपके हुए हैं. जाति भेद, जातियों में भेद किया जाता है. उच्च नीचतेच्या भ्रामक कल्पना, ये उच्च जाति का है, ये नीच जाति का है, ये सारी कल्पनाएं रखना. चौकस व चिकित्सक वृत्तीचा अभाव यात आहे, याची जाणीव कोणाला झाली, सुशिक्षित समाजाला होऊ लागली. ओके, म्हणजेच काय बघा, जो काही सुशिक्षित समाज होता त्याला असे वाटले की आपला भारत देश मागासलेला का राहिला आहे, कारण आपला समाज अजून सुद्धा अंधश्रद्धा, रूढीप्रियता, जातीभेद, उच्च नीचतेच्या कल्पना, चौकस आणि चिकित्सक वृत्तीचा अभाव असलेला समाज आहे. ओके, म्हणून आपल्या समाजात आपला समाज काय राहिलेला आहे, मागासलेला राहिला आहे. हमारा जो भी समाज है उस जो भी वो टाइम था उस वक्त के समाज के बारे में आई एम टॉकिंग. ओके, क्या बताया गया है कि उस वक्त जो भी भारतीय समाज था वो पीछे क्या था, क्यों था सबसे, क्योंकि हमारे जो लोग हैं वो अंधश्रद्धा, परंपराएं, जाति भेद, इन सारी चीजों से चिपके हुए थे. ओके, it was necessary to eradicate the flaws and undesirable tendency for progress of the country. आणि देशाची प्रगती करायची असेल तर भारतीय समाजातील दोष आणि ज्या काही अनिष्ट प्रवृत्ती आहेत त्या काढून टाकल्या पाहिजेत. अँड टू क्रिएट अ न्यू सोसायटी बेस्ड ऑन द प्रिन्सिपल ऑफ ह्युमॅनिटी, इक्वॅलिटी अँड फ्रॅटर्निटी. बघा, आपल्या देशाची प्रगती घडवायची असेल, आपल्या देशाला जर प्रगती पथावर न्यायचं असेल तर भारतीय समाजातील दोष आणि अनिष्ट प्रवृत्ती यांचं निर्मूलन करून मानवता, समता, बंधुता या तत्वांवर आधारित नवा समाज निर्माण करण्याची आवश्यकता त्यावेळी त्या विचारवंतांना, त्या सुशिक्षित लोकांना वाटू लागली. ओके, जो भारत के समाज में जो भी त्रुटियां थी, जो भी बैकवर्डनेस थी वो हमने सीखी, लेकिन उसको आगे ले जाना बहुत जरूरी था. तो वो किस तरह हो सकता था, जो भी हमारे समाज में जो दोष है, जो भी परंपराएं है जो नहीं होनी चाहिए, अगर वो सारी खत्म की जाए और हमारा समाज अगर मानवता, समता, बंधुता इन तत्वों को अपनाए तो हमारा समाज आगे जा सकता है. ऐसे ये जो रिफॉर्मर्स थे उन्होंने लोगों को सिखाया. द एजुकेटेड थिंकर स्टार्टेड सोशल अवेयरनेस through writings to solve the various problems in the society. The intellectual awakening in the contemporary society is called Indian Renaissance. बघा, मग आता एवढे प्रश्न आपल्या समोर उभे होते. नवीन समाज निर्माण करायचा होता, मानवता, समता, बंधुता या तत्वांवर आधारित. मग भारतीय समाजातील हे विविध प्रश्न दूर करण्यासाठी जे काही सुशिक्षित विचारवंत होते त्यांनी काय केलं, आपलं लिखाण वाढवलं आणि आपल्या लिखाणाद्वारे, लेखणीद्वारे जनजागृती करायला सुरुवात केली. तत्कालीन भारतात सुरू झालेल्या या वैचारिक जागृतीला भारतीय प्रबोधन असे म्हणतात. इट इज कॉल्ड एज इंडियन रेनेसांस. देखिए, भारत के समाज में जो भी त्रुटियां थी वो हमने पढ़ी, लेकिन वो दूर करना भी बहुत जरूरी था. तो जो भी कुछ सीखे हुए, पढ़े हुए जो विचारवंत थे वो आगे आए और उन्होंने क्या किया, जो भी उनके विचार थे वो उन्होंने लिखे, और वो लिखे उन्होंने न्यूज़पेपर या फिर किसी आर्टिकल्स में, सो दैट उससे क्या हो, लोगों में जागृति हो. ओके, और तभी जो वैचारिक जागृति आगे आई, निर्माण हुई, उसको हम भारतीय प्रबोधन मतलब इंडियन रेनेसांस कहते हैं. ओके, अंडरस्टूड टिल हियर एवरीवन? एवरीवन अंडरस्टूड टिल हियर? टेल मी. Okay, now let's move to the next. Era of religious and social reform. बघा, धर्मसुधारणा आणि धर्मसुधारणेचे पर्व, धर्मसुधारणा आणि समाज सुधारण्याचे पर्व. जो भी धार्मिक चेंजेस की गए, सामाजिक चेंजेस किए गए, किए गए वो किस तरह से। पहला है ब्राह्मो समाज, ये पिक्चर आपको दिखाया गया है राजा राम मोहन राय का। ओके, in 1828 राजा राम मोहन राय established the ब्राह्मो समाज in बेंगाल। बघा, राजाराम मोहन राय ब्राह्मो समाजाची स्थापना कोणी केली, राजाराम मोहन राय यांनी, आणि इसवी सन 1828 मध्ये बंगालमध्ये केली। ओके, ब्राह्मो समाज किसने स्थापित किया, राजाराम मोहन राय ने। कब किया, 1888 में। सॉरी, yes, am I audible? Yes, am I audible? Okay, yes. So what I was telling is, राजाराम मोहन राय इन्होंने बंगाल प्रांत में ब्राह्मो समाज की स्थापना की। कब की, 1828 में। ओके, यस, नेक्स्ट। He had studied many languages and religions. त्यांनी बहुतेक बऱ्याच भाषा आणि धर्मांचा अभ्यास केला होता। Through it, his ideology of Advaita philosophy was developed. मग त्यांनी भाषा आणि धर्माचा अभ्यास केला होता आणि यातूनच त्यांची अद्वैतवादी विचारसरणी विकसित झाली होती। ओके, मोनोथिझम, कास्ट अँड class equality, protest against rituals, and following the way of prayers were the principle of ब्राह्मो समाज। मग हा जो ब्राह्मो समाज राजाराम मोहन राय यांनी स्थापन केला होता, याचे काही प्रिन्सिपल्स होते। ओके, याची काही तत्व होती। मग ती कोणकोणती आहेत बघा, मोनोथिझम, yes, caste and class equality, then protest against rituals and following the way of prayers. ओके, काय तत्व होती, मोनोथिझम, एकेश्वरवाद। ओके, देन कास्ट अँड क्लास इक्वालिटी, उच्च नीच असा भेदभाव न करणे, जातीभेद न पाळणे। प्रोटेस्ट अगेन्स्ट रिच्युअल्स, कर्मकांडांना विरोध करणे। अँड फॉलोइंग द वे ऑफ प्रेयर्स, आणि प्रार्थनेचा मार्ग अवलंबने। ओके, उन्होंने किन तत्वों पे ब्राह्मो समाज स्थापन किया था, एकत्ववाद, देन उच्च नीच जो भी जाति भेद था वो उसको बंद करना, देन प्रोटेस्ट अगेंस्ट रिचुअल्स, जो भी रिचुअल्स थे उनको न मानना, और प्रेयर करना। ओके, ये सारे ब्राह्मो समाज के तत्व थे, प्रिंसिपल्स थे। ही अपोज्ड सती प्रैक्टिस, चाइल्ड मैरिज, पुरदाह सिस्टीम। ओके, मग त्यांनी कशा कशाला विरोध केला, सती प्रथा, ओके दॅट इज पडदा, सॉरी, सती प्रथा, बालविवाह आणि पडदा पद्धती। ओके, यांना त्यांनी विरोध केला। क्या क्या किया उन्होंने, सती प्रथा थी जो, वो बंद करवाई, बाल विवाह करवाते थे तब लोग, वो भी बंद करवाए, और पर्दा पद्धति भी बंद करवाई। ओके, ही प्रमोटेड विडो रिमॅरेज अँड फिमेल एज्युकेशन, आणि त्यांनी विधवा विवाह आणि फिमेल एज्युकेशन, स्त्री शिक्षणाला पुढाकार दिला। ओके, उन्होंने क्या किया, जो विधवाएं थी उनको उनका पुनर्विवाह करने के लिए और स्त्रियों को एजुकेशन दिलाने के लिए ज्यादा से ज्यादा काम किया। ही फाउंडेड हिंदू कॉलेज इन कॅलकटा। ओके, आणि त्यांनी कलकत्त्यामध्ये हिंदू कॉलेजची स्थापना केली। He created public awareness through the newspaper Samved and कौमुदी। ओके, त्यांनी लोकांमध्ये प्रबोधनाचं कार्य कशा प्रकारे केलं, सामवेद आणि कौमुदी या न्यूजपेपर या वृत्तपत्रांच्या आधारे त्यांनी लोकांमध्ये प्रबोधनाचं कार्य केलं. उन्होंने दो न्यूज़पेपर्स बनाए, निर्माण किए, सामवेद एंड कौमुदी. ओके, जिनके आधार पर उन्होंने क्या किया, जो भी लोग थे उन्होंने उनमें प्रबोधन का काम किया. यस, अंडरस्टूड टिल हियर? Understood till here? Okay. Yes, now tell me, what is Indian Renaissance? What is Indian Renaissance? Yes, Mansi.
The modern educated Indians realized the unhealthy social condition had arrested the progress of India. Uh, caste, casteism, superstitious old customs, class system, and lack of critical outlook pose a great challenge for progress of India. It was necessary to eradicate these shortcomings and undesirable tendency in order to create a new society based on principle of humanity, equality, and fraternity. To make the society free from these evils, the educated thinkers started social awareness through writings. This intellectual awakening in India is called the Indian Renaissance.
Good. Who founded Brahmo Samaj? ब्राह्मो समाजाची स्थापना कोणी केली? Who, when and where? Who, when and where? Yes, Nidhi?
Yes, ma'am. In 1828, Raja Ramohan Roy established the Brahmo Samaj in Bengal.
Yes. Brahmo Samaj was based on which principles? Which principles were followed by Brahmo Samaj? Yes, Mansi?
Monotheism, caste and class equality, protest against rituals, and advocated way of prayers to worship of God.
Yes. Which unwanted practices were opposed by Raja Ram Mohan Rai? कोणत्या अशा प्रथा होत्या, रूढी परंपरा होत्या ज्यांना राजाराम मोहन रायांनी विरोध केला? येस मानसी?
Oppose of child marriage, sati and Purad
पर्दा.
system, Parda system.
Okay. If I ask you to write a note on Rajaram Mohan Rai, what you will write in that? Tell me. Tell me something about Rajaram Mohan Rai, his work or whatever you know from this. Yes, Mansi?
In 1828, Raja Ram Mohan Roy established the Brahmo Samaj in Bengal. He had studied many languages and religions. Uh, through through it, his ideology uh, of philosophy was developed.
Advaita philosophy.
Advaita philosophy was developed. Monotheism, caste and class equality, protest against rituals, and following the way of prayers were the principle of Brahma Samaj. He opposed sati practice, child marriage, parda system. He promoted widow marriage and female education. He founded Hindu College in Calcutta. He created public awareness through the newspapers. Samad
Samvad and Kaumudi.
Samved and Kaumudi.
Yes. Okay, fine. So you have understood till here whatever I have taught you today. Yes, tell me. Okay. Any doubt? Any doubt in this? Okay, fine. So we are going to stop over here for today. Okay. So your questions, whatever we have done, will be uploaded on your Google Classroom. You have to write and submit it over there. Okay. So we'll meet in our next lecture. Till then, bye bye everyone. You can leave the class now.
Bye, Miss. Thank you, Miss.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Welcome. Bye bye. Welcome. Yes. I'm. Yes. Hariom, have you joined all the Google Classrooms? Yes, Hariom. Okay. So what you have to do? I will upload a homework, a question. I will upload some questions, and you have to write that answers and just attach that file to that questions only. Okay. Whatever I am giving, you have to just attach. Okay. Yes. If your doubt is clear, now you can leave the class. Bye bye.